Happy New Year, my loves. Oh, I am feeling like I'm walking into 2026 with a rocket up my arse. I always find that after a 2 week break, so that be the summer holidays and then the Christmas break, I've come away with so much clarity. Everything that I've been learning, working on, developing, doing just has that space to integrate into my mind. It has that space to integrate into my nervous system. And I feel like I come out and not like a new person. I feel like I've shed so many layers of myself over the last 2 weeks. I think it's also helped because I've had a really nice Christmas holiday. Now, previous Christmas holidays with the children have not been the easiest, if I'm honest. And I've always been so desperate for them to go back to school. But actually, I think because they're 8 and 5, they're a little bit easier. I haven't desperate for them to go back to school. I was desperate to come back to work because I really wanted to crack on with all the amazing things that I've got lined up for this year. But actually, it was really nice having them home and not having to do the bloody school run. Although I'm not doing the school run this week because I haven't got a car. So those of you that follow me on Instagram or have seen what happened to me just before Christmas, on the 23rd of December, the universe decided to take into its own hands and get me a new car. So on my vision board, I had all these different things. And the last thing that was outstanding on my 2025 vision board was a new car. And on the 23rd of December, the universe was like, I'm going to get your car written off. You're both going to be safe, but I'm also going to give you a big payout, which it did, by the way, a payout that was worth more than my car. And you're going to be getting the car that you've always wanted, which is coming at the end of next week. So, hey, I'm excited about that. But anyway, so I'm at home this week and I'm working and I'm got so much to do, to think about. And I've been desperate to get on this podcast and talk to you about the things that I've learned from last year. One of the things that I know that I've discovered about myself is that I'm really indecisive. And I think the thing that kind of brought this to a head, that I was like, this is one of my number one goals in 2026 was every single year I think of a couple of words for the year and I buy myself a crystal bracelet that I wear all the time just to remind me to keep going towards this certain thing. So last year it was self-belief and being a bit more of a fun mum. This year it is all about public speaking and looking after my body. So I decided to look for two crystal bracelets. I spent 2 hours, I'm not even joking, 2 hours online looking for two crystal bracelets. The amount of time and energy that I wasted just doing that was crazy. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to be indecisive anymore. The woman who is leading in business, the woman who has this huge business with all these different entities to it, who is out public speaking, who has amazing clients, she doesn't have the time to sit and look for 2 hours for something. She makes a decision. And so that is one of the biggest things that I'm working towards this year, is to just make decisions in the moment. Obviously, there are going to be some that I have to think about and consider, but ultimately with the small things, I'm cracking on with it. I'm not wasting that time and energy. I'm going to be more of a go-getter, somebody that just does what she says when she says it. Because when we're thinking about something, so for example, with this crystal bracelet, I spent 2 hours looking online for it. But then I also thought about, what bracelet shall I get? And that could have been channeled into something a lot better. So that's one of the things that I'm working on in 2026. Another thing that I have discovered about myself during the holiday, and again, this is what happens when you have a break from doing inner work, is that I have stopped taking action in certain things because I'm worried about not saying something correctly. Not so much giving the wrong information, but not articulating myself in a way that is going to be understood by other people. So then I've just not done it. And I'm not into avoidance in 2026. That is, again, not the businesswoman energy that I want to be stepping into. So I'm going to do a lot of work around worrying about what I say. And ultimately, that actually has this big connection towards worry about judgment from other people that I know, which was one of the biggest blocks that I have always had until last year. But actually now, as I'm sort of going through this now with you, it's made me realize that the fear of not saying the right thing is also related to my fear of judgment from other people. So I thought I had got rid of that block, but obviously there's still some little remnants there. So I'm going to be working on that next year. Next year? This year. It's amazing, isn't it? When you think that you've overcome something, and then you dig a little bit deeper into another area of your life, you realize actually it's connected to something else that you've been working on or that you thought that you have healed. What else am I going to be doing in 2026? So I am going to be thinking about my identity, and this is going to be the biggest piece for me this year. Now, I will be honest with you, I do feel that there is still a misalignment in my identity. There is still a part of the old me that I am carrying and I can't shake off. I'm going to be really real with you because I'm a very honest and open person. So in my heyday, I was an absolute party animal. I was out 2-3 times a week, out drinking, partying with my friends, always the most drunk person ever, but just loving life. And I still, even though I don't do that now, obviously I'm a mum of 2 children, I don't have the bloody energy for a hangover, but there is something around that identity that I'm still carrying now, that kind of young, youthful, single, carefree identity that isn't serving me anymore and that's holding me back from seeing myself as a woman sometimes. I do still occasionally associate myself as being a girl rather than being a woman, but I'm bloody 40. I'm a middle-aged woman, let's be honest. So again, that's something that I'm going to be working on because it's very important that I disassociate myself from this old thought patterns and beliefs about myself because it's going to stop me from expanding and growing. So something here about identity that is really important to understand. Our identity can be attached to a behavior. So in my example, my party girl lifestyle is a behavior. And so that became my identity. But actually, when we start to strip back the behavior and find out what that meant for us, it gives us an idea of the things that we value. I'm hoping that makes sense. So to give an example, if I stripped back the party girl behavior, what is underneath that? It's the fact that I love enjoyment. I love moving my body. I love laughing. I love being silly. And all of those things I can get from other areas of my life. So it's really important to think about what sits at the root and passion of the behavior that we are expressing. And that's a really important question to think about. If you do have a habit or a behavior that you are not happy with, that you are ready to get rid of in 2026, delve deep into it. What is it about that habit that gives you the satisfaction? And where can you get that same feeling from somewhere else? So these are some of the things that I'm going to be focusing on this year. They're big because when you break it down, they're going to start to surface other things in our lives. And anybody that does inner work knows if you're working on your money mindset, your self-worth starts to come into play. The way that you see yourself, your relationships, other people, comparison, it's not just one thing. So it does open a can of worms, which is why you shouldn't have too many goals to focus on when it comes to working on yourself. Keep just 2 or 3 because they will expand into other areas of your life that you're going to want to work on. So what I want to talk about next is how to show up in 2026. So you're going to have the goals that you've got for the next year or the next quarter, but do you believe deep down that you can actually achieve them? And is there a part of you who may not feel capable of achieving those goals? And if there is a part of you that doesn't feel capable, then what beliefs are attached to that? So you might be thinking that a part of me still doubts that I can actually follow through when things get uncomfortable, or there might be a part of you that feels overwhelmed before you've even begun something, or a part of you that worries that I don't have the mental resilience to keep going when the motivation. There is no point setting goals if you don't fully believe that you are capable of achieving them. And sometimes we do need to put our goals on hold first before we start working on them. If you think about it, you can't build a house on dodgy foundations. Yes, we want that beautiful, shiny, brand new home. We want it done yesterday. But actually, if you were just to whack it up now and the foundations aren't solid, at some point it's going to fall down. And then you're going to have to rebuild the house at a cost of money, time, and energy. It's so important to have the goals there, but do the work on yourself first. We need to learn to strengthen our beliefs before we can build the house, before we can build ourselves. So auditing our beliefs is absolutely key. So before you set a timeline for your goals, audit each and every single one of them. Have a look at them. Ask yourself, am I capable of achieving it? And if it's not a straight yes, then think about what is going to be blocking you. What do you believe about yourself that isn't going to make it a possibility? And that is where you're going to have to start working on those parts of yourself and your identity. And spending time doing that is what is going to strengthen those really, really solid foundations that you need in order to smash those 2026 goals. Now, the year is 12 months. And if you're an impatient person like me, we want it yesterday. But actually, what harm is it going to do for you to spend Q1 working on yourself before you work on the goals? Because if you do that, that is 3 months of setting those foundations. And trust me, if you were to do it this way, you will find the rest of the year so much easier to work through because you've done the work on yourself. Now, the beliefs that I'm going to be auditing are my impatience. Oh my God, I want success now. Why do I not have a huge clientele with people working for me? Why am I not able to bugger off on a holiday and go on 5 holidays a year with the children and my husband and lay in the Maldives while my business is just earning loads? That is impatience. I know that is going to happen because I see it in my future and I feel it. I'm connected to it. But the fact that I want it now and the fact that I am struggling to wait for it blocks me. The frustration blocks me from actually having it. So I'm really going to work on my impatience. The last thing that I'm going to be working on is this belief that I have to have my hair and makeup done before I do a reel or a story or a podcast. So today I'm filming this podcast with no makeup on for the first time. Now, I don't have a face for no makeup, but I work from home a lot. And some days, CBA to put any makeup on, let's be honest. There's no point. Kids come home, husband comes home, I go to bed. I can't be bothered. But what it is it's stopping me from creating content. It's stopping me from doing the things that are going to push the needle forward in my business because I haven't got myself done up. So makeup, no makeup, 2026, I am showing up. Doesn't matter what I look like. Hair up, hair down, greasy, washed, whatever. I am going to be taking action constantly, pushing the needle forward, creating content, meeting people, making connections, helping other women. That is my biggest aim for this year. And on that note, I'm hosting an event on the 1st of February and I'm getting very excited about it because it's less than a month away. So this is an identity activation event. This isn't goal setting. You've got your goals by then. This is like goal setting on steroids. This is about who you need to be in 26 in order to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So we're going to be covering thoughts, feelings, how you're going to dress, how you conduct yourself, everything. It's going to be so much fun. And as a listener of the podcast, if you use the discount code NEWME, then you get £10 off of your ticket. It will be recorded, so if you can't show up live, obviously I'd love to see you there, but if you can't show up live, then the recording will be sent to you along with all the other bits and bobs that I'm going to have for you as well. So please come along. Let's not make 2026 the year that by about February, March, things go back to normal and you're the same old person. I don't want that for you this year. This year, you are going to be different. This is the springboard to the new you, the version that you have always wanted to be. And I'm going to guide you through that and be here for you. And I'm so excited. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. Have the most wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll speak to you next week. Bye.